Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with another video, and this is finally going to be my Q&A video that I've been talking about since I did reach 100 subscribers recently. I'm at 101 now, thanks to an old friend of mine uh, named Robert. I do appreciate for getting me to 101 now. Um, yeah, uh, like I said, a lot of you sent me a lot of questions in that video that I posted, and I'm really excited about that. But what I did was I picked out 5 questions from each of you. Some of you asked me 5, some of you asked me a couple or just one, and that's fine. You know, there was just too many questions to choose from, so I narrowed it down to 5 apiece. And like I said, some of you didn't ask me 5, you only asked me a couple, and that's fine too. But I have a total of, look at all this. I wrote down the name of the person who asked me the questions, as well as the 5 couple of questions that I picked out for each person. And I even have a couple on the back here. I have a total of 26 questions. Wow, that is amazing. I did not expect to get that many, and that's not including the ones that I'm choosing not to answer. I may save the rest for another date and time. But I got a lot of questions, and I'm honored that you guys took the time to ask these questions. And I'm recording this video early in the morning. It's 7:35 a.m. here where I am. I wanted to go ahead and not delay this until later. I just wanted to go ahead and do it. So I don't know how long this video is going to go. It may be 20, 30 minutes. Who knows? It's been a while since I've uploaded a long video like that. Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. These first 5 questions come from MJ Nation. Shout out to him. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. He does basically the same thing I do. He shows all the albums that he's picked up recently. He does reviews on movies, music, and just, he's a good guy. You guys should definitely go check him out when you get the chance. Hey, his first question is, what is the heaviest band that I listen to? And that's a good question. It's probably a tie between Ice Nine Kills and maybe the Amity Affliction. Probably between those two. Yeah, if you guys don't know who Ice Nine Kills or the Amity Affliction are, I definitely recommend you guys checking them out. Of course, they are metalcore because, as you guys all know, I'm a metalcore guy. So, yeah, and if that's not your thing, I completely understand. But at least just try to give them a chance, I would say. Okay, his second question is, what's my favorite grunge band? Well, right here, Alice in Chains, definitely. Uh, I know when you talk about grunge, people talk about Nirvana, but I think as good as Nirvana is, don't get me wrong, Kurt Cobain is a legend. There's no doubt about that. Uh, I do find Nirvana to be a little overrated. I think that Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, even Stone Temple Pilots, even Bush are better than Nirvana. I may get a lot of heat for that, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, Alice in Chains, favorite grunge band, yeah. Okay, his third question is, which do you prefer, CDs or downloading? Uh, I prefer having the CD physically, and I do that for 3 reasons. One is obviously to support the band. I've said that many times on this channel. 2, just because I like having it in my possession. I like looking at the album art. I don't know, I just like having it. And number 3, is so I can look at the lyrics in the little booklet that they give you, the album booklet. And it really makes me mad when sometimes they don't include the lyrics. They just include a bunch of pictures and thank yous and all that, and there's no lyrics. That kind of gets to me a little bit. But yes, I definitely prefer having the physical copies of CDs, definitely. His fourth question, what are some bands you can't stand? Oh, I'm really going to get a lot of hate for this, but I really don't like Avenged Sevenfold. There's just something about them that I don't like. I'm not denying the fact that they have talent. Their musicianship is really great, and that's no disrespect to their drummer that passed away about 10, 11 years ago, Jimmy the Rev Sullivan. He was great, but there's just something about Avenged Sevenfold that I don't like. I think it may be the vocalist. I don't like his style, his vocal style. I don't know, just something about him. And I really don't like Tool either. I know I'm gonna make a lot of people mad in this part of the video. I just can't get into their stuff. I've tried listening to Fear Inoculum, their latest album. I think that was severely overhyped. I don't like hardly any of it, to be honest with you. And I've tried checking out their older stuff like Lateralis, 10,000 Days. They're just not for me. They're not my cup of tea at all. And I apologize for the shakiness of this camera. I'm on my laptop doing this, and my laptop is broken. So every now and then, every time I move around a little bit, it's going to shake. So I apologize for that. And MJ Nation's fifth and final question that I've chosen is, do I have any guilty pleasure bands or artists? And I do. I have a couple. Some of you may have already known this about me, but I do like two pop singers that are sisters. Their names are Allie and AJ. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, probably. I've been fans of theirs since 2006, and I credit my best friend. You guys have seen him on my channel before. Well, not seen him, but he's been in live chats. My best friend Timothy Dowling, he's the one that got me into Allie and AJ back then, and it's been no looking back ever since. And it's not just because they're pretty. It's not just because of that. I do think that they can actually sing, and their music actually means something to me. Another guilty pleasure band of mine is the band Bowling for Soup. They're a comedy band. They write a lot of comedy songs, and they just make you laugh. Their songs are very funny, upbeat, kind of whimsical, nonsensical sometimes. But every now and then they will write a really good, serious song to kind of counteract all the comedic stuff that they write. But yeah, Bowling for Soup and Allie and AJ definitely are two guilty pleasures of mine. Okay, the next person up is Zach D. You guys all know him very well on this channel. Go check out his stuff too. He's a great reviewer, and he's a great short series maker. If you guys want to go check out his Ardening series and a lot of other stuff that he's been involved in, go check out his channel. He's really good. He's really, really good at filmmaking and editing, and that's all I can say. He's really good. He's a cool guy. Really nice guy. Okay, his first question for me is, what is my favorite thrash metal band? And I would probably, if these guys even are thrash, because you guys know how bad I am at categorizing bands and genres. So if these guys aren't thrash, then I apologize. But it's probably a tie between Iron Maiden and Megadeth. But probably Iron Maiden. Yeah. So far, though, that's the band that I have the most classic stuff from, and I do plan on getting more in the near future. But yeah, I'd probably say Iron Maiden. Okay, his second question for me is Breaking Benjamin or 3 Days Grace. definitely Breaking Benjamin for me. Ever since Adam Gontier left 3 Days Grace to do Saint Asonia, I don't think 3 Days Grace has been the same. I'm not a fan of Matt Walst or whatever his name is. I don't even know his last name. I just don't. I don't think he fits that type of. What am I trying to say? I just don't think he fits in well. I'm not a huge fan of his vocals. I do have albums. I do have 3 Days Grace albums where he has been the front man. I have Human, and I also have Outsider. I don't go back to those albums hardly at all, except for a couple of songs here and there, like Infrared. I really like the song Infrared. Uh, yeah, I just don't. I don't care for this new 3 Days Grace. So yeah, definitely I prefer Breaking Benjamin. Definitely. Okay, his third question. Do you think greatest hits albums are pointless? That's a very good question. And I would have to say yes, because if you're a fan of a certain band and you have every single thing that they've ever done, you have every album, every EP, why do you need a greatest hits album? You've already got all of their songs in one place. I I personally don't understand that, but I can understand if you can't find a way to get their albums, then maybe you want their greatest hits. I can understand that. But if you love a band and you truly have everything that they've ever done, what do you need a greatest hits album for? You've already got all their songs. So I do think it's pointless in most circumstances, yes. Okay, his fourth question that I've selected, my least favorite metal subgenre. Probably black metal. Black metal and death metal. I'm not a fan of either. Uh, excuse me. I don't have much more to say. Yeah, probably death and black metal. I'm just not a fan of those. Okay, and his fifth and final question that I've selected, what are some recent albums that I don't think I wrote the question right. Basically, what he's asking is, what are some recent albums that I enjoyed at first but have dropped off since then? And as much as it pains me to say it, probably Demon Hunter's newest albums, War and Peace. Those, I don't go back to those albums hardly at all. Even for the songs I do like Gray Matter, The Negative, I hardly go back to those songs at all. Um, and I never expected to say that about a Demon Hunter album because I like a lot of Demon Hunter's albums. I don't have all of their albums, but stuff like The Triptych, Summer of Darkness, Storm the Gates of Hell, Extremist, True Defiance, those are all great albums. But ever since Outlive came out, I don't think Demon Hunter's been quite the same. So yeah, that's probably the only one I can think of that's come out this year that has kind of dropped off for me. All right, that's all of Zach D's questions that I've selected. Thank you for the questions, man. Okay, next three questions are from Bud Langley. Another cool friend of mine. Go check out his channel if you haven't. He does the same thing that I do and that Zach does and MJ Nation does. We all review albums. We talk about music, and he's just another overall good guy. So go check him out when you get the chance. His first question for me is, which albums do I regret buying? That is a really good question. I do have a couple of albums that I regret that I regret buying. Probably. So I'm trying to think. I don't have them in front of me, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head. Oh, here's one. There's a band called Devour the Day, and they had an album that came out, I think, last year called Signals. That was such a disappointment for me. And I bought that album thinking that it was going to be good because their older stuff was good, so I just assumed that their newer stuff was going to be just as good, and I was really disappointed by that. So, yeah, probably Devour the Day's latest album, Signals. I do not recommend that album at all. Excuse me. His second question is my thoughts on Bon Jovi. I like Bon Jovi. I wouldn't consider myself an all-time fan. I'm probably more of a casual fan, but I do like a lot of his songs. I like, you know, you know, I like my favorite song by him are "These Days." I don't know if you guys know that one. And of course, I like "Wanted Dead or Alive." "You Give Love a Bad Name." Um, I like the classics. Let's just say that. But I like Bon Jovi the person. I think he does a lot for his community. He does a lot of charity work, and I'm happy to see that. So yeah, I do like Bon Jovi. Excuse me. Okay, and his third and final question is, what are some bands that I only like one song or album from? Hmm. I don't know. I have said before that sometimes I will get an album just for one song, even if I don't like the rest of the album. I am that type of person to do that. But as far as this goes, well, I do like one song by Fall Out Boy, and you guys can. This probably wouldn't be a shock to you, but it's that old school song they have, "Thanks for the Memories." So, I guess that's the way I'm going to answer that. That's the only band or song that's coming to my mind at this point. So yeah, Fall Out Boys, "Thanks for the Memories." Yeah, do with that what you will. Okay, the next person to send in questions is Kevin. I'm sorry, man. I'm probably gonna butcher your last name. Is it Michaud? That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Kevin Michaud. Michaud. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to butcher your last name. He sent me 5 questions. His first question is, how would you rank classic metal bands that I've listened to? Stuff like Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, and so on. Uh, well, those are the only 3 classic metal bands that I've listened to so far. Uh, I would put Iron Maiden first, then Metallica, and then Megadeth at number 3. Yeah, well, no, I take that back. Iron Maiden is number 1 for me. Then I would put Megadeth and then Metallica at number 3. Yeah, great question. And I love this question. Number 2 from Kevin, my favorite TV show. I have a lot of favorite TV shows. And this shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. Um, yeah, my favorite show is right there. Chuck. You guys have seen this poster in a lot of live streams that I've done over the past. And yeah, Chuck is definitely my favorite TV show. It's been off the air for almost 8 years now. But it's a great show. I have all 5 seasons on DVD. So yeah, Chuck is my favorite TV show. But I also like Married with Children, The King of Queens, That 70s Show, Three's Company. That's old school right there. Three's Company. That came out back in the 70s and 80s. But yeah, my favorite TV show right now is Chuck. So yeah. Okay, his third question. What's my favorite album of all time? That's probably the easiest question on this whole list. That's Comatose by Skillet. I have said that many times. Skillet's my favorite band, and I know that doesn't exactly sit well with some of you, But if you truly understood why I continue to defend Skillet, even though, look, I know that Unleashed and Victorious were not that great. I understand that. But to say that there's not any good songs on those albums at all, I think that's completely wrong to say. Songs like Victorious, Save Me, Anchor, and from Unleashed, you got songs like Watching for Comets, The Resistance, I Want to Live, Stars. There are some gems on there. Now, and I will always continue to have hope that Skillet will go back to the Comatose days. It doesn't even have to be all Comatose stuff. It can be Collide. I'll even take some of Rise and Awake stuff. But yeah, my favorite. Anyway, I'm sorry to go on that little rant, but my favorite album of all time is Comatose by Skillet. Okay, his fourth question, Kevin's fourth question: what instrument do you most want to learn but haven't yet? Well, a long time ago, my best friend Timothy Dowling, who's getting another shout out on this video, he tried to teach me how to play guitar way back in the day. Needless to say, I gave up, and it wasn't because he was a bad teacher. He was a great teacher. He tried to teach me everything that he knew, but I just wasn't. I gave up. Long story short, I gave up. But right now, what instrument would I like to learn? Probably the drums. The drums have been. That's probably my favorite instrument right now, the drums. Okay, and Kevin's fifth and final question: which do I like more, metalcore or grunge? If you would have asked me this question last year, I would have said metalcore hands down. But now that I've gotten into so much grunge lately, it's not that easy of a decision for me. But I would still probably say metalcore, but only by a little bit. Like metalcore is right here, but grunge is like right underneath it. I mean, it's really close, but I would still give the edge to metalcore. I'll probably always be a metalcore guy, but grunge, I mean, it's a close race. Let's just say that. Okay, that's all of Kevin's questions. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, these next 5 questions come from another good friend of mine, Jonathan Rhodes. You've seen him on here as Rockin' Jonathan. So thank you for these 5 questions. His first question is, what albums would I give a 10 out of 10 to? I can only think of 2 off the top of my head right now, and the first one would be Red's newest album, Declaration. I would definitely give that a 10 out of 10. There's not a single song on the album that I don't like. And I'm really happy with the way that album turned out. I think it's such a step up from Gone, because I didn't like Gone at all. And the other album that I would give a 10 out of 10 to would be a pop punk album, The Great Depression by the band As It Is. I'm sure you guys have probably heard me talk about them on this channel before. And why would I give that a 10 out of 10? Because it talks about depression. And I've had depressive moods for a long time now. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but every now and then I will get in a depressive mood. But yeah, if you're going through some hard depression stuff, you turn on this album, and a lot of people will say it's emo, and yeah, it probably is emo, but I can relate to it, and I know depression is something that a lot of people can relate to, so that's why I give that album a 10 out of 10. Okay, Jonathan's second question for me is, what is my all-time favorite food? That's a tough one, man. It's a tie between burgers. I love burgers. I'm a burger guy through and through. And any type of pasta. I'm big into Italian food as well. So any type of pasta, burger, can't go wrong with that. Okay, number 3. What's my favorite album of the year so far? Definitely, it's still Red's album Declaration. Definitely. Okay, his fourth question: am I anticipating any new albums this year? There's two right now that I'm anticipating. One comes out in August, and one comes out in September. The one coming out in August is by the band Slaves, and the album's going to be called Two Better Days. I'm really looking forward to that. And the one in September, and I know Zach D is just going to love me for this, the new Fit for a King album, The Path. I've already got it pre-ordered, and there's nothing you can say, Zach D, to stop me. Okay? I joke with him about that because I know that he doesn't like Fit for a King. But I do, so get over it. But yeah, I kid. I'm just joking. But yeah, it comes out September 18th, I believe. And it's called The Path, and I've already pre-ordered it, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Jonathan's fifth and final question, he asked me this kind of as a joke, but I decided to incorporate it into the video. Why does the year 2020 exist? I wish I could tell you, man. I mean, with all the crap that's gone on this year, I don't know. I'm with you. I'm ready for all this stuff to end. I'm ready for the coronavirus to finally go away. I'm sick of all this murder and all these deaths going on. I don't know. I don't know why it exists, man. I can't answer that one for you. But thank you for your questions, man. Okay, got two more questions left. Okay, this question is by Tony Bivens. You guys all know him on this channel. And he asked me one question. What's my favorite lyric from any song? And that's a tough one because I like so many songs, but it would probably be from my favorite song of all time, This Fire by Killswitch Engage. There's two parts that I like. I like the chorus, even through the darkest days, this fire burns always. That's very positive. But I also love the bridge, and it says, never more to be held down by the weights against me, never more to be cast aside. This day is mine. Those are probably my favorite lyrics. Well, not probably. They are my favorite lyrics. So, Tony, thank you for your question, man. And the last question comes from a really, really, really good friend of mine, former Westboro Baptist Church member Zach Phelps Roper, and he asked me, what are my top 5 songs? That's another really great question. Well, I just told you my top song of all time. My number 1 is This Fire by Killswitch Engage. I don't know if I can list 5. I have so many that I like. I don't know. I don't know, Zach. I really don't know. I'll have to get back to you on that. But my top song is This Fire by Killswitch Engage, and I'll just leave it at that. I just can't pick 4 more. I can't. Whew. Wow. I've gone almost 30 minutes. This is definitely the longest the longest video that I've done in quite some time. And if you're still with me, I appreciate it. If not, I completely understand. Now my voice is dry, and I'm going to get something to drink after this. Yeah, to everyone who sent me questions, thank you. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoyed my answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this 100 subscriber celebration Q&A video. And as always, guys, leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about me, and yeah, thank you to everyone who sent in questions. I'm extremely grateful for that, and there's more content to come in the future. So On that note, have a great Wednesday and take care.